Watch out, Cody.
Walk behind. Y'all want to walk behind.
At 1:20, I'm gonna hang up with CTV and call into Gainesville. I didn't want to get me. Are you able to confirm that FBI ATF on the scene?
I'm not allowed to. You probably want to talk to Captain Martina. And actually, right now that it's evolving, we're kind of just hold on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
That's who I'm talking to. They're coming to you? Okay.
because I was like I'm more active shot hands and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'm here on the northern edge of campus. I'm about a block away from the student union where the shooting happened, and we've seen several ambulances leave here. We do know that the hospital here in Tallahassee has at least 4 victims here. We know that there's a large police presence, as you can tell here. We have Florida Highway Patrol, Tallahassee Police, and others are here as well. We're also starting to hear from state leaders. Congressman Jimmy Patronis says that on X that he is monitoring the situation, praying for first responders and people at the scene. And House Speaker Daniel Perez says that he's watching the things here unfold at FSU, and it's terrifying and every parent's worst nightmare. They're continuing to monitor things at the Capitol. And Governor Ron DeSantis offered his prayers on X as well. Now, I did see posts from other members of the Capitol Press Corps who are at the Capitol right now, and they're being told to not leave there by the Capitol Police. And that's about a mile away from campus, so it's still a very active scene here at Florida State University. Reporting live in Tallahassee, Cody Butler, TV 20 News. Yeah, thanks. Miss Sherry's one of her coworkers was the one that died.
They used to work there.
Calling back to CTV. Yeah, Ava, right now we are seeing Tallahassee putting up barricades right now here at Dewey in Tennessee. Turn up the audio, please. And so we are here seeing the barricades be put up so that the officers can leave this area, because right now it's just being blocked by police cars right now. State Highway Patrol is here, FDLE is here, Tallahassee Police is here, and we are also hearing from state leaders right now on social media. Governor Ron DeSantis posted on X that our prayers are with our FSU family and state law enforcement who is actively responding. House Speaker Daniel Perez posted on X that we're watching what's unfolding at FSU. It's terrifying and every parent's worst nightmare. We are continuing to monitoring the news here in Tallahassee and urge everyone to pray for the students, families, faculty, first responders, and all involved. And Speaker Perez is a graduate of FSU, and up in D.C., Congressman Jimmy Patronis is also monitoring the situation, he says on X, as we work to learn more, again, offering prayers for first responders and those who are injured. Here at Dewey in Tennessee earlier, we did see ambulances leave the scene with lights and sirens indicating that there was a live patient inside. We don't know their conditions yet. We do know that TMH does have some victims here from the scene. We're still working to learn more. And again, this is a very active situation that is gaining attention across the state. Yeah, we've been seeing students here in this area. I might have to move because there's a lot of activity with vehicles going on right now. But yeah, we've seen students walking away from campus. We saw a whole group of students leave about 15 minutes or so ago. They're all calm. They tell me they feel safe. Some of them are shaken up a little. They've talked to friends who are on campus that are on lockdown. They are, again, feeling safe on campus, shaken up. So they're just on edge right now. Students hugging.
Where? I don't know, somebody says something?
Showing students hugging. I don't know where. I think it's over there. Show that.
There are not people in this corner. So I wonder how far Mike had got down together before the Mike was to the car.
Oh. He's brave.
Mike,
Oh, no, I was talking to Tom.
why did you say that? Did he walk down there?
I don't know.
How far you got?
Show you. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but that is.
Where in here, Lee?
Just down this road. You know, the side of the road that comes past the.
Jacob might be over there too, because I think they were.
That's
Was
what's
another CCTV person over there?
I didn't see him, but doesn't mean he wasn't. I mean, everybody's doing the same
Same thing.
running around. So like, there's kids down there too. So
I would love to go over there.
I think you'd be able to.
Yeah, I think we should. This corner kind of lighten up.
Get that.
Yeah, I got
woman.
him hugging and stuff, crying and stuff.
Where were you?
Right behind the student union. Still a bunch of students over there. Yeah, I just had to go live with Fox 13 in Orlando. I'm not. I was like, audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, good. So,
I don't mind walking down there.
it's not that far.
But I don't know where Jacob is. Is Jacob down there? Because he's beginning. Jacob's covering the student union.
Oh, then yeah,
So,
you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where the shooting took place, right?
You saw another
Yeah.
person down there?
Sorry, I think another station calling.
Have you guys heard about when they're releasing? Because like my daughter's stuck in a building.
The Unification Center is at the Civic Center.
That's where they're gonna bring kids to.
I think so. Yeah, that's where they're directing parents to the Civic Center. Have you heard from your daughter?
We're on the phone with her.
You are.
We've been on the phone with her. She called when it broke out. She was on in an administrative building before class starts. She's a physiology exercise major. And she called her mom, called me, and then we switched over. So we've been on the phone with her for well over an hour. She ran out of she was in an administrative building. They put them in a room, and for some reason they moved them outside. And then a girl started screaming and running, so she said some people got trampled. And then they took
on. Let me. I'm just having to check with my stations. I work for 4 stations, so I have to.
Hi, real quick. I'm
Hi.
Jenny Ralph. I'm with FSU University
Hi.
Communications. I just wanted to let you know, Turnbull Conference Center, which is that way. I can help you locate the address.
I think we have a crew already there.
Perfect. I just wanted to spread the word to the media.
Yep.
And that's where we're setting up to this and not the official information.
No worries. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so flipping angry.
Yeah.
I'm a big pastor. I'm trying to stay calm. My daughter just started here early because we moved here November, December to take the new church.
Yeah.
And she graduated high school early. Started on January 6th.
Wow. I hate to ask. Would you be willing to do an interview with us?
Let me check with my wife.
Okay.
Okay. I can do a short interview.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll just have you stand over here. We might have to adjust depending upon police traffic, but I'll just have you look at me.
Okay.
Know when you're all set. Yep. All right, I'll have you first say and spell your name.
Michael, Michael. Last name Price, Price.
All right, and you said your daughter's a student here?
My daughter is a student at Florida State University as of January 6th of this year, true freshman.
Freshman, wow. So, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, we got a call from my daughter before it hit the news. We've been on the phone with her for over an hour ever since. As a father, my wife's in the car and a mother, we are concerned for our daughter, but at least we're talking to our daughter and know that she is safe. Our hearts and prayers and minds are to anyone who's possibly had a child or a relative who's been injured or possible loss of life. And as a new pastor here in Tallahassee at the Bethel AME Church family on Orange Avenue, I am praying for our city and for the Florida State University community.
Yeah, you ever think anything would happen here when you send your daughter here?
You don't think it's going to happen, but with the level of gun violence in our country and with the level of mass shootings that occur, I think research shows that our country has more mass shootings than anywhere else on the planet. You always think in the back of your mind that someday something could happen. And a lot of anger for me comes from our policy with guns. And even in the state of Florida, how we made it easier for persons to own guns. We can't be a country that love our children and the citizens and continue to have the kind of gun policies we do. And I know everyone's going to say, no, don't rush to gun policy. Maybe some mental issues here or something, but we got to do something about that.
And you've been talking with your daughter. What has she been telling you?
She's just been real nervous because of not knowing what's going on, feeling safe, and then feeling not safe with movement from movement, and just wanting this event to be over as far as this day and to be safe again in her home with her family.
Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Randy Hinesville, the one that died.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't know. We know people have been. We know people have been sent to the hospital. I think the number was 4 or 6.
Ain't nobody actually died. Do they know what kind of weapon it was?
I don't know. No, there's still. We haven't heard anything official from police yet on anything out there. There'll be another crew on the other side of campus.
And they're not going to speak until they have all the information.
Yeah. All right.
How'd he get out of there? Bro, when y'all left, more police came. I see that. Yeah, I'm driving, right? I see y'all driving. Police coming.
I think I'm going to focus more on state government now.
Because we have Randy Fine's bill that died that would have allowed kids to carry.
And
I wouldn't talk about that.
what?
I wouldn't talk about that. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not when kids are dead.
Well, I mean, it would destroy tomorrow. Suspect is in custody. Suspect's in custody. What was that?
I said, praise God.
Yeah.
There was just a shooting 4 days ago, right here on Georgia Street.
Yeah.
Just 4 days ago. Tell that.
Yeah.
Boss, you said suspect
Jody
was in
Gator.
custody?
Jody Gator.
Yeah, suspect's in custody.
Jody Gator, what are you
It just says a suspect is in custody.
Yeah, because one of them, they got in custody, but they killed him.
Yeah, one of them did. One of them is arrested.
All right, so the one that died wasn't dead at first. Like, we watched him take him and put him inside the thing. So that's why I'm like, is that the one that they're saying that's... Technically, he wasn't dead yet, bro.
Can't get no food, ain't nobody coming no food, ain't nothing like that. Think they got a suspect in custody, somebody dead?
Well, right there.
Yeah. What if they get it? Every cop in Tallahassee's
Yeah,
here.
it's gonna say terrorist attack or something like that.
Every cop in Tallahassee's here.
Girl that got shot.
Oh, I got like that. If I could get in there, I'd give you some money, but like, because I pulled it off my car, but I can't get in nowhere. They won't let me in there. The smoke shop
Yeah,
won't
no,
give me cash back.
make sure you do the courtesies, brother. Make sure you
I'm
that's
hungry.
You guys like to see earlier.
Well, no one's talking about Hope, Florida anymore. No one knows if they ever came back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Six hospitalized. Yes, I can. We'll probably, well, are you able to work tomorrow? I'll probably be working tomorrow. And just keep me updated because there's a follow-up state angle. I listened to a soundbite from their conversations where he's talking about guns. So with our interview, this interview that I'm... Yes, I can. All right, thank you. Do you know what your anchor lead-in? I was asking. Well, I mean, I can be pretty open. Since I'm a political reporter, I'm also getting all those statements from the politicians here in Florida. I have some basic information. I don't know what you have in your anchor intro, and I can go off of that. Okay. All right. Yep. I can go off of that. Thank you. Okay. 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 Yep. I could do that. I've done a couple interviews with people, so yeah, that'll work. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Is that the second bus? Third? I'm just gonna call. I'm doing local news live, so I'm just calling it broad for national audience. So, yeah. Fish and Wildlife Commission. I'm just trying to figure out all my stations. You did?
Yeah, 5 shots, and then round of 5 more shots.
Oh wow.
And 7 shots.
Yeah. I'm about ready to go live, but I could do an interview afterwards. Okay. Thank you. Where were you?
I was in Bellamy, so the building right behind you.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with campus, so. Yeah. Okay. What? Oh, 4th bus. Okay. Hey, 30 out. What was that? I'm on national, so.
They had said every building within a mile radius of here. Wouldn't let me pay my electric bill. Yeah, it's quite a wide range of emotions here at Florida State University. Keep in mind, this shooting happened about 2 hours ago now, and we've seen several students walk through this area. We were about a block away from where the shooting happened at the student union. We've seen many students crying and hugging each other, offering support. We've also talked with students who were on their way to campus when they saw people running away from campus, crying. They've been on lockdown here at Florida State University for about 2 hours now. I'll get out of the way. As you can see, Florida Highway Patrol troopers are going through here. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is also here helping with the scene, as well as the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, the local police, and university police as well. And so they are, again, sorting out what happened here. But again, a lot of people are pretty shaken up. A lot of people are remaining relatively calm given what happened. I talked to a parent. He's been in constant contact with his daughter for the last 2 hours, and they've been moving her inside, outside, back inside. And so, like,
every time they move, her mood shifts depending upon where they're at. We did see 3 or 4 buses full of students leave here to go to the other side of campus where the Unification Center is for families to pick up. That's at the Civic Center here on campus for anyone that might be watching in the Tallahassee area that might want to reunite with their loved ones. That is happening at the Civic Center. So again, it is still a very active scene here at Florida State University. Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you.
What channel is this?
I'm on WCTV, but that was for our national streaming. I'm a statewide reporter, so I'll be across the state. That's my normal job, so let alone when something like this is going. So.
Do you know a guy named Brent at work? Yeah, I think he does like the video editing or the producing of WCTV.
I've not heard that name, so. But, oh, good. Franklin. Okay, good. I'm just checking it. I've been out of communication for a little bit.
I mean, I don't know how much my info is going to change it or do anything.
I mean, we're just collecting interviews. So, yeah. But yeah, if you're happy to do an interview.
You want to do one,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to force you.
No. Have you come over here? Stand about right here. Right there? All right, I'll just have you look at me, pretend the camera's not there. First, have you say and spell your name for me, please.
Cooper, C-O-O-P-E-R. Last name is Ugenalp, U-L-G-E-N-A-L-P.
And you're a student?
Yes, at Florida State.
What year?
Senior.
Senior.
Yeah.
And so, just talk about what happened.
Yeah, I was in class, and it was about 1 o'clock, and the shots rang out, and we were like, is that construction going on, or what was happening? And so we got up, looked out the window, and I remember looking outside and hearing 5 more shots go off. And I was like, what's going on? So I saw kids running away from the student union, and I walked away from the window. Then I walked back to the window and heard 6, 7 more shots ring out. And at that point, we were like, okay, there's a shooting going on. So we ran from our classroom, went to the offices, locked the doors, barricaded ourselves in there, and then we waited and was looking out the window again and saw the SWAT teams pull up, the police cars, the FBI come, and at that point we were like, okay, we got to bunker ourselves in, and we were praying. We're like, okay, something's got to change here, and the SWAT team came into the room. They're like, stay where you are, don't move, and we were in there for about 30 minutes, and at that point we were escorted out. About 100 SWATs were inside the building, and our hands were up, and so then we were escorted outside past the union and then into a safe space.
What was going through your mind when all this was unfolding?
Yeah, I was completely in shock. I didn't think this could happen at Florida State. I mean, we're a pretty safe campus, but yeah, this is just like unheard of to me. I never had been in a school shooting before, active shooter. This is like first time for me, and I was honestly in shock. My hands were shaking. Just adrenaline kicked in, and I really didn't know what to do. I started tearing up. Just like I was scared, to be honest. Yeah.
And so you just saw, you just heard the shots. You didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see the shooter, but I saw the kids running away. I heard some screaming. Yeah, and the shots, like 3 rounds of like 5 shots, and then 7 shots. So it must have been some back and forth going on. Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you doing now?
Good. I've recovered a lot. A lot of people have been texting me. People from out of state, University of Michigan friends have been texting me. People from South Florida have been texting me. People from high school have been texting me. Doing a lot better. It's been a great community that has surrounded me since then. I definitely didn't think I'd be traumatized as much as I have. Definitely not being on the scene, but being kind of away from it. But yeah, it's been scary. So I'm doing a lot better now. Yeah.
That's good. Is there anything that you wish would have happened differently?
Yeah, no, I think the police responded very quickly. I think they did a great job. Yeah, I don't really know what could have happened. Maybe there's more police presence at certain areas for there not to be a shooter. I mean, I think that's just like the most obvious thing, but yeah.
All right, anything else you want to add? Anything, Davis?
No, it's great.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What's your name?
I'm Cody.
Cody? Cooper.
Good afternoon, everyone. We wanted to bring you the very latest that we have on our active shooter situation happening in the state capital of Florida. Here's what we know so far. 6 people have been taken to the hospital. One of those individuals is in critical condition. Now, this all started to unfold around noon. Police say that one person is in custody. It happened on the campus of Florida State University. Somewhere near the student union building is what we're understanding. Police have not released any names, but we can tell you also that the FBI is on scene, as well as Florida State Police, and of course local authorities as well. We're still waiting for more information to come into us. We started hearing about it, but we can tell you that a person is in custody. Again, 6 people have been taken to the hospital. We understand that they are students that were on campus. The campus was active at the time that all of this happened. So very active scene. We're still talking to people, our associates, our affiliates. They're in Florida, still gathering more information on that. We're staying on top of it as well as here. But again, this happened around noon, sometime just afternoon, if you will, on the campus of Florida State University, near the student union building, as we understand. Again, the person that's in custody, we do not know if he has been identified as the shooter. Right now, he is being considered a suspect, a person of interest, but he has not been officially named the shooter in this case. We're also waiting to see if authorities are looking for more than one shooter, but that information has not been confirmed to have multiple people involved. It appears right now that it is just one that they are concentrating their efforts on. As the video was coming in, we can let you know that we saw students hiding. There are reports of also students that were finding wherever they could take cover at any place. This, of course, meant buildings on the campus. This, of course, meant bushes, if you will, because Florida State's campus is very active and very spread out with that. We're going to show you more video as I continue to bring you up to speed with a couple of other things that we're learning at this time. We can also let you know that the president has been involved. He's made a few comments that we're working to turn that around for you also. Our affiliates are talking to students who were present at the time that all of this unfolded, so we're gathering that information as well. But if you're just joining us, we want to thank you for being with us as we continue to update you on this. Again, if you're tuning in right now or listening right now, this happened around noon in Tallahassee, Florida, the state capital, Florida State University. An active shooter situation. It is still classified as that. It has not been downgraded that we are aware of. We will certainly let you know about that. Now, Florida State University is one of 12 public universities in Florida. There are about 44,000 students that attend the campus as of our understanding right now, as of this school year. Again, 6 people have been hospitalized. One of those persons is in critical condition. We do not know if it's a student or if it's a worker at the staff. We're also getting information from our affiliates as well as the Associated Press telling us more information about that. Again, the governor is also responding, sending his prayers, posting on social media. Our prayers are with everyone involved. We will keep updating as we learn more. The president has also been involved, has been briefed, if you will. He's also making comments on X saying that he's fully briefed. It's a horrible thing. Horrible things like this take place. Again, that's coming from President Trump. The extent of the victim's injuries is not known to us. Again, of the 6, one we understand is in critical condition. And we're still talking to people. We're still gathering more information now. Several students that have found themselves in a position to talk to our affiliates are letting us know where they were, what they heard, what they saw. Again, the FBI, likely the lead investigator on this situation, has been involved and is on the scene, assisted by Florida State Police as well as the local authorities there in Tallahassee. Continue to stay with us for the very latest. Our newsroom is fully staffed. We're also waiting for more information to come in to us as we have it here, so we're staying on top of that. It's a very fluid situation, as you might imagine, because of the pieces that are involved, if you will, because of the information that's coming in, because it's active. A lot of this is going to be coming in. Some of it can change. Understand that. But it's been going on now for about 2 hours or so, just a little bit under 2 hours, if you will, that this started to come in and to unfold. But for right now, one person is in custody, according to the authorities on scene. 6 people taken to the hospital. Again, we're not sure if they are students and or faculty, but one of those individuals is in critical condition. The president, the governor, Attorney General Pam Bondi also making comments, all denouncing what happened there. Still not much is known about the person taken into custody, if he has been in fact identified as the shooter. But again, one person, according to the authorities there on the scene, is in fact in custody. A very active situation. We can tell you that several blocks have been cordoned off to allow this to take place. It is our understanding, according to the Associated Press, that this shooting took place on the campus near the Student Union building. Again, 44,000 or so students attend the campus. We're not sure how many of that number were actively on the campus when this all began to unfold. Again, right now, that is the latest that we have. We're still waiting for more information. I'm going to go to one of our other video channels and share that with you, just to let you know a little bit more about what I'm seeing and passing that along to you in 1 second. And thank you so much for staying with us as we continue to monitor this situation as it is developing right now for about 2 hours or so going on there. If you're just tuning in to us, I thank you. I'm Antoine Lewis reporting to you from our Fox station in Midtown, the Upper East Side of New York. Again, this is an active shooter situation happening right now on Florida State University's campus. One person is in custody. 6 people have been taken to the hospital. One of those individuals is in critical condition. All levels of government have been notified, have been briefed, and are responding. Some on social media. We know that the president has responded. The Governor DeSantis, has also responded. The Attorney General Pam Bondi also making comments, all sending thoughts and prayers to the individuals that have been impacted by this situation, which is still fluid, which is still ongoing at this time. Again, one person is in custody. We have not learned what role this individual has been playing in this situation, but authorities acting pretty quickly. They got onto the scene a short time after the first call started coming in, sometime around noon. Eastern Standard Time is when that took place. Again, the individuals taken to the hospital. The extent of those injuries, we do not know. Once again, we don't know if they are students or if they are faculty or a combination of the two, but we're working to get that information. As you might imagine, pieces are involved. Our crews on the scene are moving around. They're getting into place for news conferences and for updates and other information that takes place in situations like this. Parents, we would imagine you hear something like this, they're very upset, very concerned, as they have children that are there. So as we get information, we're still trying to confirm if any other students have been impacted. Right now, what we're hearing is that only 6 individuals, possibly a mix of students and or faculty, 6 persons have been taken to the hospital. One of those, again, in critical condition. Suspect taken into custody. A little bit more about that individual. The person that was speaking to our affiliate said that they saw this person taken into custody, one in serious condition. Shooting happened just minutes from the state capitol building. That's also new to us coming in as well. So we're staying on top of this. This is the very latest that we have for you as we continue to look. Can let you know that we see officers now. If you're watching the video, you can see that is a firearm that he's carrying there that's being discharged, that he is holding in his hand. You can see that right there. The campus, as you might imagine, has been placed on lockdown, which is typical in situations like this when you have a scenario where there is an active shooter taking place across the campus there. Just monitoring that, not sure which layer of government this individual is that our camera is on right now, but you can see that he had his weapon out. Again, this is in response to what's happening on the campus. If you're just tuning in, this all began to develop around noon. Reports of an active shooter situation on the campus, bringing about all levels of government there. FBI is on scene, state police are on scene, assisting local authorities. In a situation like this, likely the FBI is probably the lead investigator in this matter. 44,000 students are on the campus enrolled in Florida State. Not sure how many of those were there, because spring break considerations are also something to take into consideration given this particular week. That's what's going on there. One person is in custody. We do not have a whole lot of information on that individual, but again, our team here is monitoring. Our team is also in contact with our associates and our affiliates in Florida. That person in custody, not much known about. We're still waiting for more information on that. The individuals that were taken to the hospital, 6 of those, 1 in critical, still waiting to find out a little bit more about that. We also want you to get more information on our Fox Local app. For to stay on top of that as well. We want to make sure that everyone knows what we know as we're bringing it to you in real time as we get it in ourselves. If you are just tuning in, we do not have any identifications of anyone. I know that's a tough thing to hear in a situation like this, but there are a lot of moving parts going on, and the priority is that to get medical attention to those individuals that have been hurt. And of course, 6 have been, we've been told that 6 are the number of people that have been taken to the hospital, 1 in critical, but no other information nor the extent of those injuries has been made available to us. The shooting took place not very far from the state capitol, which is where Florida State is in Tallahassee. Also, we're understanding the Associated Press is reporting that the shooting took place near the Student Union building there on the campus. Not sure how busy it was, but at noon on a nice day, like it usually is in Florida, you might imagine that it was a pretty active scene, if you will, with people moving back and forth, students and or other individuals there on the campus. Now, in a social media post, FBI Director Kash Patel said that he and his team have been briefed on the shooting. Agents from the Jacksonville field office have been on scene, have been dispersed there, and, quote, "We will provide full support to local law enforcement as needed. Please keep the FSU community in your prayers." Governor DeSantis also chiming in on social media. "Our prayers are with our FSU family, and state law enforcement is actively responding." Again, the president has been briefed on this. He's also decrying it, saying it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible things like this that take place. This coming from his own meeting there in the Oval Office that he has with Italian dignitaries and a separate matter going on involving trades and tariffs. But right now, again, we're looking at the scene. See at least 1 ambulance there. That whole area has been cordoned off, as you might imagine. Not sure the exact radius of it, but usually in situations like this, particularly in a lockdown situation, they will go a mile, maybe a mile or 2 in and around just to ensure the safety of the community that's surrounding it, as well as the persons that are on the campus still. And as information was coming into us, before I even stepped to you myself, was reading a couple of things and saw that some of the students were hiding once they heard shots in buildings. They started running for cover and things like that, things that you might imagine in a situation like this to take place. If you're just joining us, once again, active shooter situation happening on the campus of Florida State University in the state capital, Tallahassee. This all began around noon, a little thereafter, when the first reports started coming in. Shooting, from what we understand, the Associated Press is reporting that it took place near the Student Union building. 6 people have been taken to the hospital. We do not know any names. We have not received any identification on those persons, but one of those that we understand is in critical condition. Let's look again to see how we're changing our video. 1 second, if you will. Just going to give you a different shot there. And again, this is just one of the points where the cordon has been, where that's been cordoned off, where that is taking place. And as you can see, moving around right, that in a situation like this, it is possible. No traffic will be allowed in or out of that radius. Foot traffic, all of that's also brought to a stop. Many of the students may have been just walking up to the campus and then just trying to figure out what's going on, and you see a heavy presence, if you will. Florida State, in and of itself, from my understanding and what we're reading, did alert the students that something was going on. Not sure what the extent of that was, but generally, universities and schools and colleges, things like that, tend to have in place a notification system, likely through social media perhaps, or individual phones, where they will alert that there is something going on campus. Generally, they'll say not to come or just whatever information they can give, but it seems like the university right now is on lockdown and is responding to the commands of the authorities, who are certainly in charge of what is going on there right now. So students and faculty were instructed to continue to seek shelter and then to await further instructions, which is generally the case that happens in this. Florida State University is one of Florida's 12 public universities. 44,300 is the number of students enrolled at that particular campus. And this is coming from the school's 2024 fact sheet. 1 person in critical, still don't know the extent of the injuries. 6 taken to the hospital. Suspect has been taken into custody, and they told you that just now. No additional details about that person that's coming on. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a social media post that the Justice Department is now in touch with FBI agents who are on the scene. She wrote on X, "Our priority is the safety of everyone involved, and we will keep updating as we learn more, praying for all." Kash Patel, FBI director, again saying that agents from Jacksonville's office are at the school providing support to local law enforcement. Governor DeSantis is also responding on social media saying, "Our prayers are with our FSU family," and state law enforcement is actively responding. Ambulances, fire trucks, everything that you might imagine is on scene because you've given the magnitude of what's going on. And there you can see one of the ambulances there. Multiple law enforcement agencies are there, all responding. The alert was issued by the university midday today. And again, hundreds of students streamed away, being led away from the Student Union building. Student video shows of the students that they were going on. They were glued to their campuses at 3 there was going on as we're still monitoring that. Now, this system that we're coming to you is actually new to us, so we're trying to make sure that we connect with you as we try to bring you information and updates in real time. So I want to thank you for working with us and for giving us the freedom, if you will, to be a little fluid in these situations because it is unfolding and it is still developing. And we just want to make sure that we are bringing you immediate information as soon as we can, and just to keep that connection there as it is what we are charged with doing. So if you're just watching, if you're just developing, just tuning into us now, active shooter situation on the campus of Florida State University started just after noon. The Associated Press is reporting that the shooting took place near the Student Union building. There are about 44,000 students on the campus, 44,000 students enrolled, if you will, at FSU. 6 people were taken to the hospital. One of those persons is in critical condition. The extent of the injuries, again, we do not know or have that information. We're still working on that. The president, the attorney general, the FBI, the governor, all have been briefed, all are weighing in, whether it be on social media posts or through other communications. One person has been taken into custody. He has been identified as a suspect. That's what the Associated Press is reporting, that he has been identified as a suspect, but no further information has been made available about that individual. Now, let's see, Leroy, having a question. We want to bring that in. Any idea that they're almost done searching the rooms? Leroy, thank you for your question. We have not gotten that information yet, but in a situation like this, searching the rooms, searching the dorms, searching the campuses, searching all of that's going to happen. And even though they have one person in custody, that does not mean that there may not be another individual involved, or depending upon the weapon, if there are other munitions or other weapons, if you will, all of this is what's going to be searched. You know, just in scenarios like these, there can be, you know, a car perhaps with something in it. There could be like another bag or something with it. You know, a lot of the unknowns, Leroy, that are coming in. We thank you so much. Anyone else, if you have a question about it, we're trying to answer it as best we can, but we certainly want to encourage that type of engagement with us if you happen to have that. I'll recap, which I'll be doing quite often just because of the number of people who may just be tuning in. This all began on the campus of Florida State around noon. An active shooter situation. The university sent out an alert. 6 people were taken to the hospital. One of those persons is in critical condition. Police have a suspect in custody. They are identifying him as a suspect, but that's as far as the identification goes. They have not released any other details. We can tell you how active the scene is right now. Students are milling around, but it's been blocked off. The campus is likely in this scenario, no one's being allowed in or out unless they have official business or unless they are given permission by the authorities, by the officials on scene to go. But in a situation where there is an active shooter, and that's still how they are classifying the situation, generally that means no one outside of law personnel, law enforcement, are the ones that would be allowed to be moving about as they are doing, as Leroy asked, searching campuses, searching rooms, searching dorms, looking for any other information to help them in this investigation. 6 people taken to the hospital. 44,300 students attend the campus, attend that particular school. Not sure the number of those that were on campus. We can see a couple of backpacks, a couple of students milling around. 1 ambulance is there. Again, several other vehicles with other information, 2 ambulances actually that I see now. And certainly the entrances to that campus should be blocked, again, only for law enforcement or first and emergency responders being allowed in. The president calling this horrible, a horrible thing he said is things like this is horrible when they take place. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, saying that he and his team have been briefed. Agents from the Jacksonville field office have been dispatched to the location there at Florida State to assist local law enforcement as well. State police are there. The governor also responding on the social media channel X, posting that our prayers are with our FSU family, and state law enforcement is actively responding. And Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, also posting on social media that the Justice Department is involved and is in touch with the FBI agents who are on the scene. Once again, police are confirming that they have taken into custody one person. We do not know the individual, and very much more is known other than that, and no information also on the victims. Six have been identified as victims, I should say, and only one that we understand is in critical condition. This is the very latest that we have. It's still a fluid, still an active situation going on there as we watch, and we can see one officer there in front. If you're looking at the video right now, you can see they're starting to block off the area there, starting to put the barricades in place. This again to discourage anybody who does not have business needing to be. You see that individual, that car just going in. Anyone who does not have anything other than what's going on right now. And also we have crews on scene. You may see a gentleman in a white shirt holding the mic. He's one of our affiliates there. We will go to him as soon as we get information that he is in fact ready to give us a report. Thank you for joining us. If you're just tuning in, an active shooter situation still ongoing. Florida State's campus in Tallahassee. Several cars now moving in. We're monitoring that as well. You can tell by the lights in the back, those are official vehicles and making their way in and about. The Associated Press is reporting that the shooting took place near the Student Union building on the campus, and the campus in and of itself is not very far from the state capitol building there in Tallahassee, Florida. The governor, the president, the attorney general, FBI, all levels of government have been notified, have been briefed, and are making comments denouncing this. We're still waiting for more information on the people involved. This includes the one person that was taken into custody, who authorities are identifying as the suspect in this case, as well as the 6 individuals taken to the hospital, who they are and what role they may have played on the campus, whether they were students or whether they were faculty. All of this is information that we're still waiting to come into us. It started to unfold around noon. A little thereafter, the university sent out an alert saying that there was an active shooter situation, discouraging students from coming to campus clearly because of what was going on in this context, in this situation. I want to let you know also, as we're waiting, anyone, if you have a question, we ask you to reach out to us. Now, as you're looking right now, you see that one of our affiliates standing there in the shirt perhaps is getting in place to do exactly what I'm doing right now, give an update, but his would be, of course, through his television station, as opposed to how we're doing it there. So once he starts to speak, I will stop talking and we will listen into what he is saying and what information he's gathering from there on the scene. Likely what's happening right now, all of the heads of the agencies involved that are responding are getting into place. They're very much in a room being briefed, because at some point they will then have to come out to do the official news conference, where they will then inform us, meaning the responding press and the responding media outlets, on what they know, what has been confirmed, what can be reported, and then take a few questions to the extent that they can provide answers given what's going on right now. And it is still fluid in that situation, knowing that it's going to be happening. We will be staying on top of this. We will continue to bring you updates through this capacity, also on the app. And we also encourage you to watch your local station for the very latest on the situation. Before I go, just to recap, 6 people have been taken to the hospital, 1 in critical condition. Police have identified that they have a person in custody. They're calling him a suspect. No other information has been given about that individual. We thank you so much for being with us. We certainly want to keep you updated, so we implore you to follow all of our social media channels as well as online for the very latest information on this situation. Be safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
For the reunification center. Now, again, this shooting is like all other school shootings, getting attention. The president had put out a statement recently that he is monitoring the situation. Lawmakers are about a mile away from here at the Capitol for the legislative session, and they are putting out their statements as well. Governor Ron DeSantis posted on X earlier that his thoughts and prayers are with the FSU family and state law enforcement. Speaker Perez, who is a graduate of Florida State University, says that this is a parent's worst nightmare, and they're continuing to monitor the situation, urging the thoughts and prayers for students, families, faculty, first responders, and all involved. Representative Gallup Franklin, the Democrat that represents this area, he issued a statement saying that he stands with our students, educators, families, and neighbors during this time of uncertainty, of grief. Schools, colleges, and universities must be places of learning and safety, not fear. Once we have the full details of this heinous act, we must act with purpose and urgency to prevent tragedies like this from happening again. So yeah, this is definitely something that a lot of people have not expected. I've been talking with students as they walk by this area. Many of them were in buildings near the student union when the shooting happened. They heard the gunshots. They were on lockdown. They saw the chaos outside their window as police were trying to kind of get the situation under control, and they are shaking it up. We've seen a wide range of emotions. We've talked to one parent who's in constant contact with his daughter as soon as the shooting started, and he was said that his daughter was calm when she was inside, then they got moved outside, then her anxiety picked up, that she went back inside. So a lot of emotions here at Florida State University as they try to figure out what happened here today. And again, the police say that they have the shooter in custody, and that there are several victims being treated at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. Back to you. They did an anchor swap during me, so they wanted me to go as long as I could. I was trying to make sure I went long enough. Back to Local News Live. Yes, I can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm.
Wait. 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 Wait.
Local News Live is doing an expert right now. Then they're me next. Yes. I got you, LNL. Yep. Can I get a plan on what you guys are planning on doing with me? I don't know when we lost IFB connection. Yeah, I'm hearing 2 people right now. Okay. Three and a half minutes. I don't know.
Hey there, you okay? Yeah, are you okay? You good? Are you alright?
Yeah, I've been helping the officers. They said I'm free to go.
Okay, good to hear. Do you have access to your car? I know that's a problem for you.
I do, yeah. Do you know if I can get out this way?
I've seen people walking down this sidewalk, so I think you're okay as long as
Can I
you're
drive down there, you know?
I've seen people cross over and drive into this road. Now, how far they got after that, I have no idea. I'm so sorry.
Alright.
I imagine it might be tough, but I think they might just direct you outside. Stay safe. Thank you.
students as you wait for that news conference to start?
We're pretty visibly shaken up. We've seen groups of people coming out, just hugging each other, crying. We've talked to students who were coming to campus, who saw students running away from campus as the shooting was unfolding, and talked to people that were in neighboring buildings to the student union where the shooting happened and saw the chaos outside. One student told me that she was in the library on the phone in the stairs and didn't really know what was going on. She had saw a bunch of people running up the stairs, so she followed them, and they were acting as if the shooter was inside the library. They put the elevator, called the elevator up to the floor that they were on, put tables in the elevator doors so that the elevator would stay on their floor, and then they went and put tables in front of the door there so that anyone coming up the stairs couldn't get to them as well. This is pretty much what students are taught these days in school, and the run, fight, hide lockdown drills that schools are doing these days, and they really executed it. Another student was in another building. He was in class. They saw the chaos outside the window. He heard the gunshots. They went to offices and locked the door behind them and stayed in there until they were escorted out by a SWAT team. And he saw a bunch of SWAT in his building. And this wasn't the building where the shooting happened. So it is a very emotional scene here at Florida State University right now. I do know that one of my colleagues, he's closer to the student union. I'm about a block away. Another reporter for WDCA-TV here in Tallahassee did speak with a family that was visiting campus, and they were in the student union when the shooting happened. So again, they were visibly shaken up as well. So it's a very chaotic scene, and this isn't the first time I've covered a university shooting. I covered at Michigan State when I was at a station in Lansing, and it's the same thing. You can kind of just sense the tension right now with all the police presence here. It's an eerie feeling. Thank you. Thank you. Water? Yeah, something to drink. Just tell them you're covering the shooting. Thank you. I'm trying to send in my personal phone all the IFB numbers. This is Cody. Hey. No, we are good. We have everything plugged in. We are in a McDonald's parking lot. Yep, thanks. Bye.
Wow. Gosh.
I don't think we could show that.
No. He's far away. You can't see. I'll let you see. It's like somebody did right there.
Oh gosh. Yeah, we can't. Right. I put the key in the car, so when the car stops, we just need to restart it. It will shut off like every 25 minutes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, right now here at Tennessee and Dewey, Abby and Julie, things are a little calmer than what they were earlier. I've started to see some emergency vehicles leave this area quietly, and they are out here for hours, just like we have as well. And we're also hearing from our delegation in D.C. here from Florida, as well as here at the Capitol, just a mile away from here. Rick Scott said that he's praying for the safety of everyone at FSU with the swift recovery of those injured, and that his team has been in contact with law enforcement in this area. Senator Ashley Moody has also been in contact with the leadership here at FSU and offers her prayers for the students and first responders. And Representative Gallup Franklin, State Representative Gallup Franklin, he represents Tallahassee in the Florida House of Representatives. The Democrat says that he stands with our students and educators, families, and neighbors during this time of uncertainty and grief. Schools, colleges, and universities must be places of learning and safety, not fear. Once we have the full depth of this heinous act, we must act with purpose and urgency to prevent tragedies like this from happening again. And I've been talking with students as they've been walking by through here, and they have a wide range of emotions right now. We've seen people crying and hugging each other. We've heard from people that were inside neighboring buildings to the student union. One student I talked to was in the library. She was in the hall talking on the phone when all of a sudden a bunch of people ran up the stairs by her, and then she just followed the crowd, not knowing what was going on. And then she said that they started barricading themselves on a floor in the library. They called the elevators to their floor, put the tables in the door of the elevator to keep the elevator there, and then they blocked the doors with tables. She said it was pretty chaotic, and she felt some sort of peace through all of that. Another student I talked to say that he was in class and then he heard the gunshots and saw the chaos outside the window, and then they went to an office and locked themselves in, and then it was a SWAT team that came and got them and escorted them out, and he saw a bunch of SWAT teams in the building. We've seen state police here, or state highway patrol, FDLE, Florida Wildlife Commission, as well as local law enforcement here at FSU as well. So again, it's still a very fluid situation here at Florida State University. Still a very large police presence here as well, as we wait to get more answers.
Yes, please.
We've got blueberry, strawberry, and mango.
Blueberry. Hey, brother.
Do you want Italian ice cream Jeremiah?
Yeah, I'll take it.
We got strawberry, mango, cotton candy, and bluegrass.
I'll take it.
I don't know if I'm going. I just heard them say I heard them say politicians, so I'm like, oh, that's me.
I just thought you how about?
Oh, they're just reading full screens. Oh, okay. Oh, they canceled the meeting. The whole Florida meeting.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the tunnel boy. I said, why would they cancel that?
You can stay there and I can just walk to you and make it easier because yeah, and it look like it's a bunch of looking down this way. It's a lot of traffic down there. Okay. Okay, I'm good. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much.
we're about time for Sarasota. Or, yeah. Yes, I'm here. Mic check for Sarasota. Mic check 1 2 3 4. Mic check 1 2 3 4. On the edge. All right. What is the anchor intro? I'm just kind of going off my hits on the anchor intros. I'm not near my work phone. Yes. Okay, Steph. Okay. I'm not near my work phone, so. All right, am I just talking in general on shooting, or am I talking anything specific, or what do you want me to do? I'll just. Whatever they say as how I'm doing it. This is. Yeah, Rick and Stephanie, I'm here about a block away from the student union, and things have calmed down here from my vantage point for the most part. There are still a lot of Florida Highway Patrol troopers here. I've seen FDLE, I've seen Florida Fish and Wildlife, obviously local police and fire as well. I also saw Florida Division of Emergency Management arrive here on scene within the last hour or so. And here at this corner, I've seen a lot of students leaving the area. Some are obviously shaken up. Many hugs and tears were shed. I talked to students, if you have been watching for a while, that you just heard from, that they've been locked inside. They brought the elevators up to their floor in the library so that, and barricade themselves in. It's something that they've been training for in school growing up in these day and age. And we're also hearing from state leaders as well, offering thoughts and prayers from the governor, the attorney general, House Speaker Daniel Perez, who is an FSU grad. And there's also Democrats who represent Florida State University, who are saying that this is a senseless, heinous crime, that they need to figure out meaningful solutions to prevent this from happening in the future. And so, again, we are here at Florida State, where police are still trying to piece together what exactly happening, and there are a lot of emotions here as well.
Yes, I can. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, that works. All right, how are you? Oh, wow. Wow. Stand by, Vernon. Yeah, Clint, right now I'm on the north edge of Florida State University's campus, about a block away from where the shooting happened. And you can tell that there are still some law enforcement here. There's Florida State Highway Patrol kind of blocking off the street right now. We've seen several state agencies helping local police here, including FDLE, Fish and Wildlife Commission, and even the Florida Division of Emergency Management. And it's still a pretty fluid situation right now. We're starting to see more people leaving here right now. Just saw someone walking with a couple suitcases from campus. So right now, a lot of people just kind of left things where they are on campus. A lot of students have been walking this way. I've been speaking with some of those students, and you can sense the wide range of emotions that they are facing as the latest school shooting is on their campus. And it's some people tell me that they're scared, and then they had a sense of peace, and they were barricading themselves in the library. They were in the stairs on the phone, saw a bunch of people running up the stairs. So they followed, they called the elevator to their floor, put doors or tables and the doors of those elevators so the elevators would stay there. They couldn't be called to another floor, and they barricaded the doors as well. I heard the same thing in other buildings here on campus as well. We're also hearing from state leaders from our congressional delegation in DC to here at the Florida State Capitol about a mile away. Governor Ron DeSantis and other Republicans offering their thoughts and prayers. And Democratic State Representative Gallup Franklin, who represents part of Tallahassee, says that while we grieve, we also need to act with purpose and urgency to make sure that shootings like this don't happen again in our state. And so it's been a big debate here at the Florida Capitol over the years, and I'm sure it will continue as the legislative session continues. Clint?
HOLDENMENDEZ.
All right, and you're a student?
Yeah, I'm a student. I'm a sophomore here at FSU, Florida State University. Political science and international affairs double major.
All right.
Yeah.
So just talk about what you saw.
So I was walking from the Union. I was going to the Stroger Library. I was walking towards the Bethesda building. I was looking at my phone because I was looking at my music and switching up which track that I was listening to, and I hear a crack. I'm not an avid shooter, but I do shoot occasionally, so I knew immediately that that was a gunshot. Initially, I thought it was just from the neighborhood or somewhere outside, and then I hear about 5 to 8, I don't want to be too specific, follow-up shots in quick succession, and I see smoke rising from this individual. The information that's going out there and what I've been telling is that the individual, and this is correct, is that the individual was probably about 6 foot tall, white male, with brown curly hair, wearing a garnet polo and brown khaki shorts. As soon as I saw those quick shots, or heard those quick shots, saw him shooting one-handed at this African-American female in a red dress. She ran around a temporary stage that was being set up and took cover. As soon as I saw that, I hightailed it out of there, ran through the Union, pointed at multiple people on the way, started yelling, "Call 911, there's an active shooter," ran into the FSU Card Center, the transportation parking services, all of that. And there were about 50, 60 very scared people that were in there. So after I hung up with 911 and gave them my preliminary report, what I did was I took charge of the situation. I immediately started, getting people water, making sure that they were okay, making sure that they knew that they were safe. As soon as we had an officer come with us, I made sure that the officer spoke to everybody there, because, the last thing you need in a situation like that is people that aren't willing to take charge, people that are not, I'm very lucky that I do have the training to make that happen and to take charge. And I know that a lot of people in there were very glad that I was able to do that, to, get them water, get them some food, calm them down, have them take a breath, and try and diffuse the entire situation. Because the last thing we need is more people that are very stressed out and very worried about the situation.
What was going through your mind when you saw the shooting happen?
That's not good, for lack of a better term. No, essentially, fight or flight response obviously kicked in immediately, and the only thing that came in my head was run. There wasn't any, I'm not armed, of course. We don't have campus carry here in Florida, so I wasn't in a position to fight. So because of that, I said, nope, I'm getting out of here, ran as fast as I could, and then as soon as I thought I was in a somewhat safer position, i.e. out of the immediate sight of the gunman, I said, okay, I need to start getting people to call 911 because this needs to be handled now. The police need to be involved right now.
And being a political reporter, there was a bill in the legislature that didn't get the support in committee that would have allowed students to carry on campus. Thoughts on that? And
that was Rep. Jacques' bill last year, if I'm correct.
It was,
but don't quote me on
most
that.
recently Rainey Fine's bill.
Rainey Fine's. Okay, perfect. Yeah. If you want my personal opinion, I think campus carry could have ended this situation very quickly. If I did have the ability to carry on campus, I don't own a firearm or anything because it is illegal currently in the state of Florida, depending on the law. But if I did have the ability to do so legally, I likely would have. And essentially, what I would have done is immediately try to neutralize the threat. And try to save lives and save some injuries, and a lot of potential heartache could have been saved. So I think that, there's a likely chance whenever you, unfortunately, there's a mantra of you never let a good crisis go to waste. And I think that that's a very crass thing to do. I think that we need to understand, what was going on. We obviously, it's too soon to make any determinations or decisions, because this just happened a few hours ago. I think it's very necessary that we take a 30,000-foot view, look at things on a macro level, and say, how could this have been prevented? How could we have had more police officers stationed? I do believe that FSU PD, they are fantastic and they do fantastic work, but they are, in my opinion, woefully underfunded, and they don't have enough resources to necessarily do what they need to do. So I think if it's a combination of campus carry to neutralize threats like this in real time, as well as increased resources for FSU PD, definitely could have turned this entire situation into a very, very different day.
And in the Florida legislature, everyone talks about the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. now we have a shooting on a college campus a mile away from the state capitol.
Yeah.
They've been trying to repeal some of the laws that were passed after Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. What are you expecting lawmakers to do now?
Again, too soon to say. It's very much too soon to say. This happened a few hours ago. And, you know, quite frankly, the most important thing right now is making sure that everybody's safe. Making sure that everybody can get home and to their beds tonight. That is the most important thing. Obviously, there's a lot of students that live on campus, in the dorms and everything, so they're going to have a very difficult time with all of that. But again, the number one thing right now is making sure that everybody is safe. These are valuable conversations to have earlier is really the approach that we need to take, is making sure that the proper resources are in place to make sure that these kinds of threats can be responded to. If those resources turn into campus carry, it turns into campus carry. If those resources turn into more funding for campus police officers, they turn into more funding for campus police departments.
How are you doing right now?
I'm great. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, we need people that are willing to step up, put themselves last and manage situations. My hat goes off, and all of the accolades need to go to the police officers and all the different responders here, from TPD, Capitol PD, FSU PD, FBI, Marshals, Fish and Wildlife, troopers, everyone, FBI. I've seen more law enforcement presence here than I have pretty much anywhere else in my life, and it really fills me with a lot of patriotism and makes me very happy to see that when, you know, something tragic like this happens, people really spring into action. And that's something that I think, you know, and because the police were there immediately, that those kind of barriers that have been put up kind of came down. There were a lot of very, very scared people in that room that as soon as a police officer walked in and said, "You are safe," you could feel an audible sigh, a release from that room. And I think there needs to be kind of an increase in that level of trust between our law enforcement officials and our citizens, because they are here for our safety and they do have our best interests in mind. Negative, sir. I greatly appreciate the interview.
All right, sounds good. Thank you
Perfect.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You said WCTV, CBS, all that good stuff?
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
I have no idea when any
And if you're just joining us now, you're looking at an empty podium there because we're waiting to get an update from on the Florida State University mass shooting that happened just a few hours ago on campus, and it was in a lockdown. We're waiting for the officials to get to the podium and let us know what happened. We can tell you 6 people were injured. We got reports from the hospital that a couple of people were taken there. We don't know the extent of the injuries. We also have some interviews from witnesses that said they heard shooting. This apparently happened in the student union just after 1 o'clock Eastern time today. And obviously you can see in the other video that you're looking at, there's still a large police presence. Students these days in 2025 are well aware of active shooter alerts, and they were all alerted on their phone on campus. But this is a sprawling university, so it's almost like a mini city in Tallahassee onto its own. So many of the students were able to run off campus to safety, while others were told to shelter in place, as law enforcement literally had to go room to room, building to building, before they determined, and they have determined, that it is safe. We also understand they have a suspect in custody. Again, we are trying to get verification on some of these details. So if you keep it right here, keep watching YouTube, we're going to be able to bring you that press conference as soon as it happens at Florida State University to give us an update on just how many people were injured and what the circumstances of this was as it unfolded. So we hope you keep it right here.
FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter. 2 victims of deceased are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student. I do not have additional information on the shooter's identity at this time. Students who need assistance can go to the Donald L. Tucker Center, where the university is providing counseling, health care, and other support services. Family members are also able to go to the Tucker Center for assistance. Students, faculty, and staff are asked to call their loved ones as soon as possible to update them on their status. The student union and the surrounding area is still considered an active crime scene. Individuals should avoid the area. Students should not return to the student union to retrieve personal property at this time. Students may return to their residence halls, but they should otherwise stay indoors on main campus to allow first responders and university staff to do their jobs and respond to those needing assistance. Students may depart campus for the weekend. All classes have been canceled through Friday. Before I turn this over to Chief Revel, I want to thank all the brave men and women of the FSU PD for responding immediately to the scene. I also want to thank the responding agencies who have provided assistance to FSU today big time, including the Tallahassee Police Department, the Leon County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, Leon County Emergency Medical Services, FDLE, and all other responding agencies today. We really appreciate your support. That's all the information I have at this time. We'll have additional update for you later today. Chief Revel.
Good afternoon. I am Chief Revel with the Tallahassee Police Department. As the shooting occurred today, our officers, as well as every single other officer in this city and county, responded immediately to this scene. Once on scene and once we began working through what was occurring and what we were working, in consultation with FSU, Tallahassee Police Department was asked to take lead on this. So we will be the lead for this investigation in both the officer involved shooting portion of this as well as the homicide portion of this. I will come up after the last speaker and entertain just a few questions, but needless to say, we have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands, or hundreds or thousands of witnesses. And again, this is an active, ongoing investigation. So the information that we will be allowed to release right now may be fairly limited. I'll answer what I can at that time. But I will assure you that as soon as we can, any information that becomes available, we will make that available to you. One of the things in the process, and again, understand that this is an ongoing active investigation. So things are happening as we are standing here and as we are speaking. We have identified the shooter, obviously. He's at the hospital. So with more on that, I'm going to allow the sheriff to come up and speak on that portion of it.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief Revel indicated, I'm Walt McNeil, Leon County Sheriff. First and foremost, let me express our gratitude to the responding law enforcement agencies in this community. Our citizens should feel some degree of comfort knowing that your law enforcement agencies are going to respond and do exactly what we did in this case, that is bring the offender to justice and to make sure that we do what we can to make sure we lock him or her up. Let me say to you, this is obviously a heinous crime. Our deepest condolences go out to the FSU family, the families of the students who are here, and we understand that you all have been devastated because of this person's actions. The question as it relates to who is the shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, and he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Our Deputy Eichner has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. She has a tremendous job that she's done. Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene. And we are continuing that investigation into how that weapon was used and what other weapons perhaps he may have had access to. The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So he has been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family, engaged in a number of training programs that we have. So it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. This event is tragic in more ways than you people in the audience could ever fathom from a law enforcement perspective. But I will tell you this, we will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to folks that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across this state and across this nation. Thank you. Let me bring up the FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge, Hubert Reynolds.
Good afternoon. My name is Hubert Reynolds, and I'm the Acting Special Agent in charge of the Jacksonville Field Office. I want to echo those standing with me what a horrific crime this is, and we stand with you fully. We have an office here in Tallahassee, and we are fully engaged with providing any resources that we can bring to bear to help with this investigation moving forward. We've established a digital tips media line where you can upload photos, videos prior to and during the incident. If you're there from social media, please upload all of that. I will give you now the website address. You can upload any tips to www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. Again, that's www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. I want to assure you that we are going to bring every available resource to be able to help the community and the local people here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Richard McCullough, Rick McCullough, President of Florida State University. This is a tragic day for Florida State University. We're absolutely heartbroken by the violence that occurred on our campus earlier today. 2 have died. 5 other innocents are being treated for their injuries. We're working to support the victims, their families, and everyone affected by this traumatic event. I just returned from the hospital. The First Lady and I met some of our students who are the victims. Our hearts go out to our students and the victims of this terrible tragedy. I have to say that our law enforcement, our FSU police officers, are absolute heroes in this regard. The call went out, someone called it in, and immediately they responded to the scene and immediately neutralized the suspect and prevented this from being a bigger tragedy. I want to thank them so much for what they do to try to keep our students safe. I want to thank all the law enforcement partners, FSU Police, Tallahassee Police, Leon County Sheriff's Department, Florida Highway Patrol, and Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and all other responding agencies for their rapid and courageous response. I want to thank everybody that came out to visit with the students and help us, and to be here today for this press conference. And I appreciate so much the support that you're all providing to our university and to our students. We're fully cooperating with the investigation, and we defer to law enforcement as they continue their work. I'd also like to thank all the healthcare providers at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. They're treating and providing outstanding care to our victims. Right now, our top priority is safety and well-being for all the people and our campus. As it was said, classes are canceled on the main campus today and tomorrow, and all FSU athletics events on Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. We also want to tell you that counseling and psychological services are available to students, faculty, and staff, and anyone that needs that should call 850-644-2003. We're also providing support for faculty and staff through our employment assistance program. And so if you need any help, please reach out. We'll continue to communicate with the campus community as we know more. This is a deeply emotional time, but we're all here to support each other. We're going to do everything we can to support our community. We're a strong and united community. We're family. And so we'll take care of all of you. And we'll get through this together. Thank you.
All right, at this time we will take a few questions. Let me just reiterate, this was a massive response, a massive response of law enforcement personnel. Our federal, state, local partners have continued to build relationships that long preceded this event. And that came into great play today in the seamless way that we all came together to work these events. But I know you'll have some specific questions. I will tell you right now, we are not going to talk about the victims other than the fact that there are 6 of them, two additional deceased, and then the suspect, so 9 total persons. 9 total persons. Yes, sir.
Have you all been able to talk to the suspect at all? Any idea about motive?
The suspect invoked his rights not to speak to us.
Chief, do we know if the weapon that was used was his parents' service weapon? And if so, what are the rules around storing service weapons?
Right. No, that's a good question. This weapon was a weapon that the deputy previously used. A lot of times, many agencies, mine included, when we transition to a new handgun, the officers are allowed to purchase the handgun they used prior. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, but I believe that's the case here. This was a handgun that deputy used prior to them transitioning to a new handgun, and so it was her personal handgun.
Is she been put on leave, or?
The sheriff would have to speak to that.
We will do a thorough investigation to look at all aspects of it. There's no cause right now that we're aware of that require her to be placed on any kind of suspension or otherwise.
Yes, ma'am.
We've been hearing stuff that it was a deputy who was a school resource officer. Is that true?
That is correct.
Chief, those injured, those killed, are any of those members of law enforcement?
I'm sorry?
And so anyone who died in the shooting or was injured in the shooting, were any of them members of law enforcement, whether it be the
No, they were not. They were not. Yes, sir.
When law enforcement arrived, did the suspects engage with them, or did he surrender immediately?
No, they challenged him and ended up shooting. He did not comply with commands and was shot.
Did he fire officers?
I do not believe he fired at officers.
We've heard that Phoenix may be autistic. Are you able to confirm that detail?
I do not have that detail.
Is there an ID of the victims yet?
I'm sorry?
An ID of the victims?
We're not releasing any of the victim information at this time.
Was the officer aware of any behavioral conditions or concerns or threats prior to this incident?
We were not.
How quickly did officers arrive on scene from the 911 call to when they engaged the suspect?
We will get you that information. I don't have that currently. I assume that would be a question that was asked, but I mean, it was almost immediately. That FSU, obviously this is their campus, and they patrol it very well. So they were on scene almost immediately, engaged almost immediately, and then everyone else, again, was a massive, very quick response.
I know that you said that the 2 deceased were not students. Do we know of those 5 that were injured, or any of them students?
Again, we're not releasing any information on the students on the victims at this point.
Specifically, what firearm did he use?
I'm sorry?
What kind of firearm was he using?
It was a handgun.
What kind of handgun?
I don't know what type of handgun that was. It was probably a 40. I don't know. Yeah.
Chief, I heard it reported that a shotgun was also recovered on campus. Was that used in the shooting?
We do know that he had a shotgun with him. We have not confirmed anyone was shot with a shotgun at this point. But again, that could change as we, again, there are hundreds and hundreds of witnesses, and as we piece all of this back together, information will come to light that we may not have at this point. So I do not believe so at this point.
We'll take one more question.
Do we know how many shots
radio dispatch or any logs be released in the near future?
I'm sorry, say again.
Will there be any body cam footage or radio dispatch logs or incident reports being released anytime soon?
We will work with the state attorney's office, which we always do, in pulling together all the information, all the investigative evidence from this case, and in collaboration with State Attorney Campbell, we will make that determination. Obviously, after the case is over, we will certainly, it all becomes available at that point. But as to what we can and will release at that point, like I said before, we're very open, transparent on these things. Again, the officers did an incredible job. But again, some of this is very horrific. This is a horrific incident. And so we will, again, collaborate with the state attorney's office and determine which of that evidence could be released or will not be released. But again, I'll let you know that as soon as we make that determination. So thank you all very much. Appreciate you being here. And just let me reiterate what's already been said. The collaboration between all of the agencies, the federal, the state, the local, all of our first responders, our EMS personnel, our fire department, again, just a massive response, immediate treatment to the victims that were there, the transport of them. Again, it was a very seamless response to this tragedy. And that goes to the training that we all do repeatedly, individually as agencies and together. The incident command came together very, very quickly. And again, I could not be more proud of the response and more horrified at the act. So thank you very much.
Can you please just real quick verify again one more time the number of people injured and dead? Our number was 8. I heard you say 9.
Sure. Total number of 9. That includes the suspect. So there are 6 victims that are injured, 2 victims that are dead, and 1 suspect. And that's let me just reiterate this because I'm not sure we said this. We have no reason to believe at this point that he did not act alone. So there is no further threat to our community at this point. So thank you very much.
Hey, Anthony, can you tell editors to grab the SOTs from the question about the weapon that was used? I believe it was the second question, the one that I asked. I guess I'm kind of going to have to go off the dome just because there's 10 minutes before the 5 and kind of go through my notes in terms of what happened. The one that he talks about whether it was her service weapon. Thanks.
Yeah, that's part of the reason for the time.
Right. Do you want us to get these on or return them?
When
Okay.
people are
Yeah.
going to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.